challenge today, in the first maze, we will solve quadratic equation by extracting square roots. So we will start here and we will end up here. Okay, so the first given is x squared minus 5 equals 20. So the first thing that we need to do is to basically eliminate negative 5 or get rid of negative 5 by adding both sides of the opposite. So negative 5 plus 5, it will be cancelled. And then x squared equals 20 plus 5 is 25. Now, what we're going to do is to apply the square root principle. Applying it, we have to cancel the square and the square root. The remaining would be x equals square root of 25. There are two possible answers. Square root of 25 would be 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. So the two possible answer is or are it can be 5 or x equals negative 5. Okay, so there you go. The answer would be here. So first, I'm gonna shade this one and then the answer. Okay, I'm gonna erase the solution here. Now, for the next question, we have negative 7x squared equals negative 448. So that's the next question. So the thing is, we have to eliminate first the negative 7 to isolate the x squared. So for us to do that, we will divide negative 7 both sides. So when we divide negative 7 both sides, the remaining in the left side of our equation is x squared equals negative 448 divided by negative 7. It has to be positive answer, but the answer would be 64. Okay, go ahead and check. If you divide 448 to 7, the answer must be 64. And when we apply the SRP or the square root principle, we will cancel this squared and the square root. The answer would be x equals square root of 64. The answer must be uh, 8. Okay, positive or negative 8. Why? 8 times 8 is 64. So the answer would be positive 8 and negative 8. Okay, so we have the second question. And as you can see, the answer is positive and negative 8. So let's proceed to the next or the third question. So the next question would be 2, 2x squared plus 10 equals to 210. Okay, so our goal is to isolate this one. For us to do that, we have to subtract first 10 both sides. Okay, so when we subtract 10, we will cancel this one. The remaining would be 2x squared, this one, equals 210 minus 10 is 200. Now, to isolate that one, we have to divide both sides by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. The remaining would be x squared equals 200 divided by 2 is 100. It's going to be 100. And we all know that 100 is a perfect square number. And then when we get the square root of the both sides, the remaining would be x equals square root of 100 is positive or negative 10. Okay? So the answer must be x equals 10 and x equals negative 10. Okay? So the answer, this is the third question, and the answer is positive and negative 10. Okay, there you go. So now we will proceed to the next question. The next question, as you can see, is going to be 9x squared plus 10 equals 91. So again, like we did in the third question, we had to subtract or get rid of the 10, okay, of the constant first. So we cancel this constant and the remaining would be 9x squared equals 91 minus 10 is 81. Dividing both sides by 9, dividing both sides by 9. Okay, we will cancel this one because the answer is 1. Okay, 81 divided by 9 is 81 divided by 9, I think 9, right? So we have the answer here 9, and the square root of 9. Okay, we get the square root of the both sides, and the square root of 9 would be positive or negative 3. Okay, positive or negative 3. Where is that? So, first, I'm going to shade the fourth question. This question that we answered earlier. The answer must be positive or negative 3. It's in here. Okay. So, the next question would be 4x squared, 4 4x squared plus 1 equals 3 to 5. Okay, so again, same process. We have to eliminate the constant here. So the constant is negative 1. Okay, so now when we eliminate, the remaining would be 4x squared equals 324. So 324 divided by 4, okay, because we have to divide by 4, 324 divided by 4. So the remaining would be, or the answer would be x squared equals 81. Again, 81 is a perfect square number. So when we get the square root of the both sides, okay, so we will cancel the square root here. Square root of 81 is positive or negative 9. So the two answers would be positive or negative 9. So when we shade this fifth question, okay, so the answer is this. So let's proceed to the next question. So the next question is 3. So let me erase first this particular question or solution. So 3 minus 4x squared equals negative 85. So we have to get rid away of this 3. So by subtracting 3 both sides. So 3 minus 3 is 0. Negative 4x squared equals negative 88. Because 85 or negative 85 divided by negative 3 or minus minus 3 is going to be negative 88. So when we 88, we have to divide by 4 because we have to eliminate this one. This one will cancel. X squared equals negative 88 divided by 4. That is 22. Okay, so we have 22 here. Now, when we get the square root of the both sides, we cancel this one. The x would be the x would be square root of 22. So what is the square root of 22? Okay, the square root of 22 is positive or negative 4.7. When you type this one to your calculator, the answer is x equals positive positive 4.7, or x equals negative 4.7. I actually, the answer would be 4.6900 blah blah blah, but we get the um the round off of the first digit or decimal digit, then the answer would be 4.7. Okay, so this one is the correct answer. Now we proceed to the next question. The next question would be negative 7, negative 7 plus 8x squared equals 193. Okay, so now negative 7, we have to eliminate that on the left side of our equation. And then we cancel negative 7 here. And the remaining would be 8x squared equals 193 plus 7 is going to be 200. So 200, now 200 divided by 8 So 200 divided by 8 is going to be, I think, 25 is the answer. Go ahead and check. If you divide 200 by 8, the answer must be 25. And getting the square root of the both sides, x is equal to positive or negative 5. Okay, there you go. So the answer is in here. This question, our answer is negative or 5 and negative 5. Okay, so let us erase this one. Now for our next question or next puzzle would be negative 2x squared equals negative 162. So basically we have to eliminate negative 2, or by dividing negative 2 both sides, the remaining would be x squared. 162 162 divided by 2, 162 divided by 2. So I think the answer must be 81. Okay, again, check if the answer is 81. Okay, so get the square root of the both sides. X would be positive or negative 9. Okay, square root of 81 is positive or negative 9. There you go. So the answer would be positive or negative 9. I think there's no other options here. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. I think almost there. We have x squared minus 5 equals 73. So we have to add 5 to transpose this 5 to the right side of our equation. So x squared equals 73 plus 5. That is going to be 78. Okay? So square root of 78. I think the answer is positive or negative. Square root of 78. When you type it in calculator, we get 8.8. Okay, so the answer is x equals positive 8.8, x equals negative 8.8. Okay, so in this question, our answer is this one. Okay, now we proceed to the next one. We have 4x squared. So let me write first the given. So we have 4x squared equals 484. So we divide both sides by 4 to basically isolate x squared. So 484 divided by 4, so that is going to be 121. And then square root of the both sides, okay? X equals positive or negative. Square root of 121 is 11. Okay? So because 11 times 11 is 121. So the answer would be positive or negative 11. Okay? So I'm going to shade this one. And finally, so this is our final answer. Okay? So, wow. We have the next problem, which is 2x squared minus 8 equals 504. So, adding 8 both sides, we have to eliminate 2x squared. I mean, to isolate 2x squared, this one will cancel. So 504 plus 8, that is going to be um 512. I think this is 512. Okay? So dividing both sides by 2, okay? X squared divided by equals 512 divided by 2. The half of 512, I think 256. And guess what? 256 is a perfect square number. So we have to get the square root of the both sides. X would remain here. Square root of 256 would be 16. Or positive or negative 16. Okay? So the answer would be positive or negative 16. So I'm going to shade this one. Okay? So we're almost there. So we have our, I think, two of the last puzzle. Okay, so we have x squared plus 7 equals 88. So subtracting 7 both sides, leaving us x squared equals 88 minus 7 is 81. X is equal to positive or negative 9. Because when you get the square root of the both sides, cancel this one. Square root of 81 is 9. There you go. So we have this one. In this question, the answer must be positive or negative 9. Okay, so we end here, but there is a bonus problem or challenge. Let us try solving x squared. Okay, x squared equals negative 4. So as you can see, the x squared here is already isolated. So what are going to do is to get the square root of the both sides, and then x would be the remaining left here. Then the square root of negative 4. Okay, the square root of negative 4, I think the answer is not real number. It's imaginary. So we decide that in this equation, the roots would be, we have no real roots. Or I should say, no real solution or no real roots. Okay, so that would be all. Okay, we finally end here and we finally finish or accomplish the maze. Okay, good job. And I want you to go back and copy the process if you want to basically know how to get the roots of a given quadratic equation using extracting square roots. Okay, so now see you in our class. I hope you'll be able to get the puzzle. Okay, goodbye.